So I shared my screen. I hope it's visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So in previous sessions, we have learned about basics of DevOps and why we are learning DevOps. For today's session, we will learn about why we are using cloud for the DevOps and what are the basics that you need to understand while learning cloud. And depending on the cloud, you will learn DevOps with the integrating it. So let's go through basic definition of cloud. And the definition of cloud computing is it's a on-demand delivery. It's an on-demand delivery of IT resources with pay-as-you-go pricing. So here, every word is important. When we are talking about on-demand delivery, you can have resources. Now, when I'm talking about resources, resource is a single entity which is present in your AWS console. Now, what is AWS console? When you are signing up for AWS account, Amazon Web Services account, you will get a portal. And from the portal, number of services will be there. So you can select for your desired service and you can deploy it. You can have your own configuration over there. And that can be used by you for the project purposes. That's a use or significance of using cloud computing services. So which type of resource you can use? You can have IT resources. You can have compute, means these resources are mostly with the virtual machines type of resources or physical configuration type of resources on a hardware level. So these are the compute resources. Then you can have databases. You can select for managed services of databases. So you need not to worry about deploying a machine and then configuration set to be for databases in that case. Then next part is about networking. You can select for network configuration under which you will have various deployment, security, and storages. So all these type of resources are comes under IT resource. Means it is covering your whole IT part when you are using a data center technology. Now in day-to-day life, you are already using cloud services. Like you are having Google Drive, right? So this comes under a software as a service. You are already having your email accounts, which are fetching some details as a storage purposes from the servers, because the data to be stored somewhere and which is in large amount. And this large amount of data is being stored in a data center. So you must have seen Koi Mil Gaya movie, right? So in that, the supercomputers were there. The infrastructure that has been shown, which is very large in terms of the size, in terms of the processing. Also, scientists which are working on a data center, because they need that much type of speed or that much type of storage to be saved for the application level, for the website, or for any type of purposes, for the analytics as well. So to work in IT industry, data center makes an important role over here. And this data center technology is now at your doorstep via AWS. That is Amazon Web Services. So in previous session, what we have seen, we have learned about various public service providers that we are having AWS, that is from Amazon. This is a public cloud service provider. We are having Azure, which is from Microsoft. And we are having GCP, which is from Google. Now, if you are having AWS account, you can use Amazon Web Services in that case. If your company is partnered with Microsoft and they want to provide a cloud service services to clients or customers, in that case, they will use Azure. So they, on the company culture and partnership, you can have various cloud platforms in the organization. But for this course, we will learn and mostly focus on AWS as it's a market leader. Now, for the primary practice, you need to sign up for AWS. And for using AWS services, first of all, you need to have one email ID. You need to have one permanent mobile number that you will verify. And also, very important part is debit card or credit card. And you can prefer for MasterCard or Visa. And make sure that in your banking app, international transaction settings are on. Then only you can sign up for AWS. If you are getting any errors regarding the authentication level, you can visit for your nearest bank branch in that case. Or also you can check for banking app. So after signing up for AWS, you will get accounts of AWS within 24 hours. So I'm just showing you how the console look like when you are using AWS services. Now, why we are using AWS services? Because suppose I need to show some demonstration on a Linux OS, or you want to practice on a Linux OS. So what will be the scenario on an infrastructure level? You need to have a virtual machine in that case. So you will use VMware or VirtualBox, right? And you can have ISO file that's to be downloaded, then importing into software, then go with the installation, creating a user and using it. Also, that will also cost your RAM on a physical machine. So sometimes you can also have breakdown of other applications. Your operating system may stuck. This type of scenario will be there. So better solution that you can use AWS account from here. Whatever configuration you are requiring on in terms of virtual machine, you can select for EC2 service over there. I will let you know what is EC2. If you are very new to the cloud, don't worry about it. But for the concept purpose, you can just understand that virtual machine service is a EC2 here in case of AWS. So you can select that service and whatever scenario you are following on IT level. And here you are just having 1 hour or 2 hours of practice for deployment. In AWS, you can generate it with the single click, and it will hardly take 1 to 2 minutes for the configuration level in AWS. So you can save your time, and also you can save costing on a project level when you will use AWS account. So for DevOps course, we will prefer for cloud platform for deployment, configuration, and other settings. So let's look at AWS console. So you can navigate for aws.amazon.com. It's an official website from AWS. Also, you can check for the console by using console.aws.com. So these are the two websites you can remember. Also, you can Google search. You are smart enough. So here I have entered aws.amazon.com, and this type of console will be there. So here are 200 plus services are there, depending on various workloads. So which workloads AWS is providing you? Any field in IT can be covered using a cloud platform. Whether you are working in analytics, big data, machine learning, data science, you can go with the analytics services. If you want to deploy a website, if you want to try for web application, if you want to deploy applications, you can use for application integration in that case. Blockchain technology is also there. Business applications are there. Some finance level of services are there. And very important, compute services. When you are dealing with the virtual machines, you will use compute services in that case. Containers, it's a part of DevOps. Now what happened? companies are now migrating towards AWS, and they will directly use AWS managed services in case of containers. So ECS, ECR, EKS, these are very famous services when you want to show experience on DevOps tools. Then we are having customer services. This will be used for B2B, B2C. Then we are having databases settings, and various types of databases are being present here. These are some developer tools. Then end user computing, front end and mobile development, gaming development. You must have heard about the IoT, that is also covering IoT part. So this infrastructure will be selected from data center. You need not to worry about it, and that will be accessed from console itself. Then machine learning services, management and governance, media services, migrations and transfer. This is big data workloads. Networking services, quantum technology is also a very important technology in nowadays. Then we are having robotics, satellite, security, and storage. So most important part on a primary level, when you are learning about cloud, that will be compute, storage, networking, security, and databases. And almost all projects will have every component in the project life cycle regarding it. Now let's discuss about operating system. So you must have heard about Windows 7, 8, 10, 11. So Windows 11, which is recent one. When you will work in the cloud, there will be Windows Server Edition, right? And this Windows Server Edition is about Windows Server 2012, 2016, 2022, and 2019. So these are the editions of Windows Server. And whenever we will do practice regarding cloud services, in case we need to deploy servers, in that case, we will select for Windows Server Edition settings from EC2. Now, what is EC2? EC2 is having a full form: Elastic Compute Cloud. And this will provide you virtual machines technology. And you will just select for OS. In case you are trying for Windows, you can select for Windows Server OS over there. And also you need not to worry about the licensing. Licensing will be managed from AWS. And there will be separate charge for each type of machine you will select. The type of machine is very important here. So some type of machines are free. Up to 750 hours, you will get EC2 T2 micro type of machine, which is only having 1 GB of RAM. But this is not recommended on a project level. So whenever we will do practice to minimize the cost, as we are going with the pay-as-you pricing, pay-as-you-go pricing. So like an electricity bill, your AWS bill will be generated in a month. Whatever resources you are creating, only that will be charged. It's not like they will charge for every service. Some services are free, some configurations are free, but if you are selecting for higher level of configuration, that will be charged. Like in case of virtual machines, if you are selecting for T2 micro type of instance for 750 hours, it's a free. If you are exceeding that, it will be charged. If you are selecting for another type of machine, that will be charged. So better you can go through T2 micro type of instance on a primary level. In case of Linux, you can have operating systems like Ubuntu server. Now, as I have told you that Ubuntu server is based on Debian OS. This is the type of Linux, one of type of Linux. Also, we are having Red Hat type of operating system, which is based on Red Hat OS. And this is more stable version. and which is recommended on a production level. Then another type of Red Hat OS is CentOS. This is also more stable as compared to the other OS, and number of packages which you will use is very high. Then we are having Fedora OS, which is available for distributing softwares for general people. And also we are having OpenSUSE Linux, SUSE Linux. This is the third type. So first type is Debian OS, second type is Red Hat OS, and third type is OpenOS, out of which Debian and Red Hat are most used. So this is on an operating system level. You will select for various distribution. Now, when you will launch a virtual machine, these things are important. And I will also show you one of demonstration, which is an easy demonstration for launching a virtual machine in AWS account. So first of all, you need to sign up today for AWS account, and you can then watch the recording and go with the steps for deploying a VM and connecting it. So the service name, that is EC2, we can search it within a console. Then we will select for operating system. Then we will select for machine type. And then we can select for launch button. So when you are clicking on launch button, your virtual machine will be ready. And then you can connect towards it. So right now we will just practice for the launching of EC2 instances. So in my AWS console, I'm searching for EC2. And there is a separate tab for it. So what it's showing? Virtual servers in the cloud. You can deploy services, servers using EC2. So when you are clicking on EC2, you will get EC2 dashboard. This is called as EC2 dashboard. Here are the different tabs. So which are the tabs that we are having? That is instances in running state, auto scaling group, dedicated host setting, elastic IP, instances, key pairs, load balancer, placement groups, security groups, snapshot, and volume. Out of which I'm just showing the things which are important. Whenever you will have virtual machine in running case, the number will be shown here. These are the IP setting, extra IP. So with every machine, you are getting a public IP. But in case you don't want to change it, you can have elastic IP configuration that is on a higher level. And this key pair that will be used for authentication level. Load balancer, it used for balancing the load in case your website is being accessed by a lot of many users and you want to distribute the traffic. And most important, volume tab. With every machine, you need to attach disk, and that is from the volumes tab. So when I will launch any instance, I can connect it via key pair. I can have volume that will be attached to the instance, and here I will get instance in a running state, means virtual machine in a running state. So let's launch one instance here. Here I'm clicking on launch instance tab. So first step that will be, you can search for EC2. Second step, you can click on launch instance. What is instance? Instance is a single entity of EC2 service. You can have multiple instances, means multiple machines. Third step, we need to select for OS and we can name it. So let's click on launch instance. So you can name this as web server. You can also add whatever name that you want. Here I'm entering the machine name as web server. Here we can select application OS, whatever OS that you want. Suppose for example, you want Microsoft Windows, that is also available, but this is Windows Server 2022. Suppose you want Ubuntu, which is based on a Debian, you can have Ubuntu Server 24.0. If you want Mac, that is also available. This one is Debian, this is SUSE Linux, this is Red Hat Linux. Right now, for the practice purpose, I will select Amazon Linux. Now, what is Amazon Linux? This is also a type of OS which is available from Red Hat. And Red Hat packages are being used here. So Amazon Web Services has partnership with the Red Hat, and they have created a new OS, that is Amazon Linux. So right now I'm selecting Amazon Linux here. Then we are selecting Amazon Linux 2023. Here is an instance type, means machine type. So whatever machine configuration you want, suppose you want a virtual machine of 2 GB RAM, that is also available. Suppose you want machine of 10 GB RAM, that is also available. Suppose you want 50 GB RAM, you can extend the limit. Suppose you want 100 GB of RAM configuration, that is also available within the cloud. That's the power of using cloud computing. But bill will be calculated. So whatever configuration you are setting, you will be charged. Just make sure that you are selecting for minimum configuration in that case, because we want to pay the bill after 1 month. So when I'm selecting this T2 micro type of instance, which is free for 750 hours, and here you can see that this is under free type eligibility. And after exceeding 750 hours, what will be charged? Here you can see that the charge will be 0.0116 USD per hour. So if you are using for 2 hours, it will be into 2. If you are using for 24 hours, it will be this charge into 24 hours. Suppose you are using it for only 30 minutes, it will be calculated for 30 minutes. Likewise. Then here is a key pair. Now this key pair will be used for authentication purpose. So I'm just naming it as my key pair new, and I'm just downloading it. So this will be available into your physical machine for authentication layer, and from there we will connect soon. And these are security group settings. I'm just selecting the tabs, and then I'm clicking on launch instance. In this way, I have created a virtual machine by using EC2 service. Now, we need to connect it. And for connection purpose, I will use PowerShell here because I'm on a Windows operating system right now. So let's connect it. But there are some stages of virtual machine. So which are the stages? First of all, it will be in a pending state. So when you are launching a VM, actually this virtual machine that you are selecting from AWS account, the changes are happening in a data center. You are selecting for a data center. It will be either from US, either from UK or Europe, or you can also select for India region. So a lot more regions are being present. If you're checking for right hand side of this AWS console, these are the data centers and these are connected with each other. So I can launch my virtual machine in Mumbai as well. If I want to launch a virtual machine in United States, I have selected for North Virginia. So currently this virtual machine is running in North Virginia. And suppose you are changing the region here. So each region is different, and that is depending on the number of configuration you are selecting, as EC2 service is region specific. So make sure that when you are practicing, you are practicing in any one region. in that case, because if you are missing something, the billing will be charged. So I was talking about the states of machines. So first state of machine is a pending state. After that, it will be in a running state after a few seconds. You can stop machine which is in a running state, and you can terminate machine which is in running state or which is in a stop condition. Both settings are available. And you can stop a running and you can run the stop machine. These are few settings and which are easy one if you are understanding a basic IT. So here I'm selecting a machine and I want to connect it. So if the machine is in running state, you can connect it, else you can't connect it. Here I'm selecting it, connect. This is the command. Throughout the course, later on, we will learn about basic Linux commands, and the command that now I will fire from my PowerShell is SSH command. Now what is SSH? That is secure shell. Means I want to connect a virtual machine which is running at North Virginia data center, right? And my physical machine is present at my geographical location. So I want to connect it via SSH, where port 22 will be used. Now, as I have told you that networking concepts are mandatory when you want to learn about the cloud and when you want to learn about the networking. So these settings are applied on a security group level of this virtual machine. And then only you can have a connection. And we will use key pair, that is SSH key in our case, which is present on my downloads folder. So I can provide the path regarding it. And I can call for this SSH package. So my command becomes SSH, that is calling for package, -i for identity. So with every virtual machine, you will have username here, right? Like on your local machine, you are having administrator as a default user. So we can have a username. And in case of Amazon Linux, that is EC2-user. Then after that, you can either enter public IP or DNS record. And that will be auto-generated from AWS. So your syntax is like this: for connection, SSH-i, username at DNS record of machine. You can select for configuration from AWS console and you can note it down. Also, you can connect it manually. And whenever you are using AWS console, everything will be provided to you. You need not to memorize everything. So here the command is already present and you can just copy it, but you have to select for proper folder in that case. So here I'm navigating for downloads folder, and within download folder, as I'm having a key pair here. So this one is a path, and the path to be set by you only. This is path, right? So if you are having a proper path and your key pair is present here, you can fire this command, that is SSH-i EC2-user at DNS address. So let's fire it and we will connect with machine which is running in a North Virginia data center. And copying this and pasting it now here from the downloads folder. Entering it. So it will ask whether you want to continue. Say yes. Just to say. Okay, I will try from connecting from the browser, getting some challenges. So here I'm clicking on connect. You can also connect from the browser by using EC2 instance connect setting. Hurry up. Okay, let me follow the same steps in the Mumbai data center. So same step I'm following in another data center. I'm just naming the key as web server key. Other setting I'm keeping as default and launching it. Clicking on it. So it's in pending state. It will be in a running soon. Okay, now it's in running state. So here I'm clicking on it, clicking on connect and copying this command and pasting from the downloads. So it's asking whether you want to continue, means it's asking for your acceptance. So make sure that you are entered a connect. Yes, and in this way you can connect to virtual machine, which is now running at data center Mumbai in that case. So this primary practice you need to follow at home. I'm just letting you know the commands that I have followed. So first of all, you will search for EC2, then you will launch instance. After that, when your instance will be in running state, you can click on connect button over there. First step, you can copy the command, and if your key pair is available at the downloads folder, so you can navigate for downloads command, downloads folder. And how you can navigate? You can use cd command in a PowerShell if you're on a Windows. So from there, you can try for this syntax SSH-I, then username of machine, add public IP of machine, and 7th step that you will be connected. Now last step, that is regarding deletion. So how you can delete this? You can try for EC2 service. Within EC2, here you will get 1 as the number, that is instances in running state. You can select it and you can then delete it, and your billing will be stopped here in case you are using instance rather than T2 micro exceeding 750 hours. Okay, so I'm expecting questions from you regarding cloud, regarding this basic practice, launching instances, connecting it and terminating it.
Yes, I have a question, Atul.
Yes.
Hi. Initially, you had mentioned that we have to give the card information. Will there be any charge involved, or just it's for security reasons?
Oh,
It's taking the card details.
okay. It will just uh, accept your details for authentication level. So 2 rupees will be debited and credited again.
Okay. Okay. And another thing is while accessing the VMs, virtual machines, you mentioned that we should select. It is always better to select any one region, one country region. So, I mean, just out of curiosity, I'm asking, will there be any issue like if we select multiple regions or I mean, what could be like?
So if you're selecting multiple regions, no worries. uh, Depending on architecture that we are following, suppose we want to provide services to any geographical location. My customers and clients are living uh, in the Mumbai region, in an India region, and I want to host a app that will be used by this customer. In that case, we can select for Mumbai region for a content delivery. Sometimes clients demand that data should be saved at their geographical location. So in that scenario, we need to select the US UK region, right? So depending on architecture, depending on client demands, region will be selected. But when you are very new to the cloud, and as we are making some mistakes, and suppose one of instances we have launched in the Mumbai region, and at the latter practice, if you are selecting for North Virginia, so that instance will not be shown in Mumbai, another region. That's the case, as a few services are region specific. So that's why I have told that you should practice in one region for 10 to 15 days. Later on, when you will get familiar with the console, you can start working on any region.
Okay. And also, like as we had seen, there are so many countries and currency differs. So
Hmm.
suppose if we select any some region where currency is like it's like a bit
Hmm.
costly.
Huh. Hmm.
So is it
There,
really
there is no
true?
much difference regarding the
Mhm.
cost.
Okay.
But region
And
to region, some configuration will may be different. That's the case, but not up to much high level. Suppose we are selecting for T2 micro type of instances are available in Mumbai, and if you are selecting for any other region, and T3 type of micro type of instances are there, which is an advanced version. So only point difference will be there, like 0.000 something.
okay. And at last, what you did is initially you created an instance,
Hmm.
and at the end you had terminated that instance.
Hmm.
So, like, is there any specific reason we are doing
Yes.
this?
Because I want to save the cost. That's
Okay.
that's the only reason. Suppose I have kept it in a running state. Uh, After crossing 750 hours for the month, it will be charged. In my case, suppose I'm selecting for T2 micro. So what I'm recommending you when you are starting for the practice on a AWS, you will just deploy resources, have your configuration. Either you can stop it or terminate it. So when you're stopping it, some resource settings will not be charged, but some settings will be charged. But if you're terminating it fully, your billing will be stopped over there. So suppose
Okay.
for one of instance, charge for 1 month is like 5,000 rupees. So it will be divided, and when you are practicing for 1 to 2 hours, only 10 rupees or 20 rupees charge will be there.
Okay. Got it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Yes, any other doubt? You can ask questions in
Hey,
Hindi,
hi, hi
English.
Atul, Sandesh this side.
Yes.
I have doubt regarding while selecting the like capacity of the instances, like
Hmm.
on what basis we are selecting the capacity, like T2 micro or T3
Okay.
micro.
Okay. Hmm. So suppose you are having, actually there are types of instances are there. Like sometimes I will just let you know with the some diagrammatic representation. Where is my pen? Just a sec. Okay. So suppose you are working on a big data type of resources. So here you can select for storage type of instances, right? Which is having lot more storage. Like you can have 1 TB, 2 TB type of storages. For example, suppose you want to try on a gaming platform and process is much more. So you can select for memory optimized resources in that case, memory optimized instances in that case, and which will provide you more RAM, right? Uh, and sometimes when you're working on a day-to-day basis, you can select for workloads which is with the least or minimum or medium type of machine configurations are there. So you can have general purpose type of resources in that case. And when more processing is there, you can select for compute type of resources. So there is a separate chart for it. So I have selected for T2 micro type of instances. That is only providing me 1 GB of RAM and 30 GB of memory, which will be my hard disk, right? So likewise, suppose you are selecting for T2 medium, over there 4 GB of RAM is present. You can select for same type of hard disk over there. I'm just showing you chart within a console, and number of instances are there, instance types are there. That is totally depending on type of configuration you want. Suppose you are working on a big data platform, so you will select for the machines type which are providing you more storage. That's the case. In case of processing, you will select for more compute level. So my answer is that that will be totally decided by your architect, cloud architect and cloud administrator via planning and architecting architecture. And for the practice purpose, you can select for T2 micro, T2 medium type of instances, which is just recommended for you if you are very new to the cloud.
Okay. So another question here. So that resources or instances are specific for specific region, right? So
Right.
if you have created any EC2 instance for Mumbai, it will only available in Mumbai region. So we
Right,
cannot
right,
create in multiple regions, right?
right, right.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, any other doubt?
Hello, Atul. Hi. I'm audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, Atul, I just want to ask the one question. In DevOps, do we need scripting on hands-on level? And that,
Yeah,
yes.
we do need.
Okay.
Like when we are going through various tasks in a Linux admin level, we need to have shell scripting commands to be known, and uh, we don't require Python scripting right now, but shell scripting is recommended. There is also some cheat sheets are available from my side. I will provide you when we will cover shell scripting part.
Okay. Yes.
Hi, Atul. Amol here.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
In which cases Python scripting we can use? And
Okay. Okay, suppose we are going through some analytics part. In that case, we can try for Python scripting or some statistical approach. And when we need to provide some output on a console level, suppose you have fired some commands and you need to show that this we are updating, we are showing some messages throughout the screen. Over that, we can use shell scripting. Also, we are launching various services. We are maintaining it. Also, we are listing some packages and selecting it. We are going through some installation process. In that case, we can select for shell scripting.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Any other doubts or your queries? Feel free to ask anything related to cloud and DevOps also.
And
Hello.
how we can create the DR site for that server? If
Which
possible, if
files?
if our base server in DevOps, sorry, in the AWS, if our base server is in India and we need to create DR in other countries, so is it possible?
In order.
DR site for one of the servers.
I didn't got your point. Just repeat the questions so that I can understand.
No, actually, if my base server is in India, okay,
India, okay, yes.
And I need to create DR for that server, disaster
DR means
recovery server, disaster recovery.
directory.
I think he's telling disaster recovery.
Okay, fine, understood. Yes. Okay, so in case
So
of
is it
disaster recovery,
possible?
yes.
Yeah, please proceed.
So we can have I will just show you. So there are three types of recovery options you can have. You can either have local reductant setting, then zone reductant setting, and region reductant setting. So we are having data center, right? We can have another data center in the same region, and we can have another data center in a separate region. So you can have three copies. One copy that is within same data center, second copy in another data center but same region, and third copy in another data center and another region. Suppose anything happens for this data center, you will have still another copy in the same region. Suppose something happens for region level, you can have same copy in a separate region. So in that way, you can maintain SL, service level agreement, on a redundancy level. Understood?
Okay, yes.
Okay. Okay, any other doubt? Okay, we can stop here. And I would recommend you all will sign up today for AWS account. In middle of something, if you are getting some challenges, do ping with the management team and they will help. Thank you very much for joining. Have a great day.
Yes, thank you, Atul.
Thank you.
Thank you, Atul.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Atul.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir, for this knowledgeable session. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining this. Have a nice day. If anyone having any queries regarding the course, they directly can contact on given numbers.